Dan, tell us about your time in the service.
For me, I joined during wartime when I looked at the military as like another family that I could be a part of. And then I got out after 8 years because I wanted more. I became the first person in my family to graduate college. And I stayed in the National Guard because I couldn't give up the uniform because it was part of who I was.
Really?
Yeah, and then we all know what happened in 9/11. And then I watched and just waited for my turn to be deployed, and I was. And I got the best job in the world to lead soldiers in combat. And then on November 10th, 2004, my life was changed forever when an improvised explosive device detonated beneath my vehicle, shattered my reality. I lost both legs below the knee, and I lived with a traumatic brain injury. And I had 2 years at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, 36 different surgeries, and I'm just lucky to be here and be alive.
Wow. So let me ask you this, Dan. What was it like for you returning home afterwards?
You know, when I was there for 2 years in the hospital, my wife couldn't leave her job to come be with me. I would have lost the house, everything. So coming home, I felt like a stranger in my own house. I'm trying to readjust to that life, and she wanted me to be the person I was, but yet I was a completely different person. And then everyone around me for 100+ miles, I was the only one with those similar experiences. So I was just really sort of lost in that environment. But then I eventually pulled myself up and was successful. But I have a lot to owe to Wounded Warrior Project for making that happen for me.
Yeah. So, exactly how did this Wounded Warrior Project help you?
My first day at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, they met me at my hospital bedside with a backpack full of comfort items that we'd all take for granted. But for me, shorts and a t-shirt, something to put on to feel human again, it was probably the most significant gift I've ever received in my life. And I got this backpack and then a promise of whatever I needed or whatever my family needed, that they'd be there for me. And they were every step of the way, helping me prove that my disability didn't define me, but that I got to define what the rest of my life was gonna be like. Whether it was snowboarding or rock climbing, outrigger canoeing, like they were making me take these opportunities to say that I got to write the next page of my book, that I wasn't dictated by what had happened to me. And I mean, I actually got to stand on the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, standing on the world's highest freestanding summit, like really put a lot of things in perspective for me.
Wow. Why'd you want to become an advocate for the program?
Well, I advocate for Wounded Warrior Project, one, because of the immense impact that they had in my life and my recovery. I can't imagine a recovery at Walter Reed or beyond or anywhere without Wounded Warrior Project being there. That's why I'm so grateful that they continue to be here, to continue to grow, to continue to listen and learn the needs of Wounded Warriors, because what Wounded Warrior Project is really doing is they're transforming the way this generation of warrior is empowered, is employed, and ultimately engaged in our communities and families when we return home. I mean, even sent back from 2003 when the organization was founded, 15 years ago, this organization has been steadfast and ardent supporters of our warriors, and over 500,000 warriors have been touched by and helped by Wounded Warrior Project to date. And yeah, it's incredible. And the best part of that is that the warriors themselves don't have to spend a single penny on these programs and services, because Wounded Warrior Project and their donors, like me as a donor, believe that, hey, all these dues were paid on the battlefield. You don't need to open your wallet anymore. Wow. And yeah, these life-changing, life-saving, free programs in mental health, in career counseling, and in long-term rehabilitative care literally change and save lives every day. Wow. And Steve, the bottom line is this, is that 22 veterans a day take their own life. And I really believe that Wounded Warrior Project is on the forefront of making that number lower. And that's why I advocate for this organization.
Well, Dan, thank you for your service, brother. Thanks. Means a lot, man. It really does, man.